Hey guys, what is up and welcome to my channel. It's a Hardback Life. My name is Jordan and today we're going to be doing the Unhaul book tag. Now, nobody tagged me in this video, but I recently saw my friend Trinity do it, and so I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I told her I was going to do it, like, this weekend. So here I am, doing it on this really early Sunday morning, but I'm doing it, and I'm happy to be doing this because, gotta get rid of some books, because she was right when she said that our bookshelves should emulate our personality and the kind of books that we like. And why? And you shouldn't feel guilty for getting rid of a book that you don't like, because one, you are just keeping other books that you will like, or that you, like other books that you will like from your shelves by keeping the books that you don't like on your shelves, if you're tracking with me. So, it's okay to get rid of books. It's also okay to DNF a book. I've learned that. So, without further ado, you guys, I have my handy dandy notes here. Let's get started, shall we? Prompt number 1. Get rid of a book that you rated low. Alright, a book that I rated low, and I'm sorry to have to say this to some of you, is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I didn't like it. I gave it 2.5 to 3 stars. Well, okay, I won't say I will say that I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. There were points where I was enjoying the story, and points where I wasn't. Unfortunately, the points where I wasn't enjoying the story outweighed the points where I was. And this just wasn't the book for me. A lot of people tell me, though, that if I didn't like The Hobbit, I will enjoy The Lord of the Rings, because there's a lot of tropes that are in The Lord of the Rings that I will definitely enjoy. But yeah, this just wasn't it. And a lot of people love this book. I know that for sure, because I hear it talked about all the time. But yeah, this just wasn't for me. That's my opinion. And just know, like I said, that it's my opinion, and I'm not doing this to hurt your feelings, but this just wasn't the book for me. Okay, prompt number 2. A book you changed your mind on. Now, this obviously is kind of a weird one, but I'm going to go with a book that I bought that I changed my mind on. Carceron by Catherine Fisher. This is about a boy who is trapped in a mechanical prison, I guess. Like a mechanical type prison. And he's trying to get out. And he enlists the help of the warden's daughter. And they basically make a bargain. She helps him get out of the prison, while he helps her get rid of the marriage that she's being forced into. So, yeah. This is a duology too, so yeah, I've seen a lot of reviews for this book, and a lot of people didn't like it, so yeah, and plus I never feel the desire to pick it up, so that maybe someone else would. So, getting rid of this. Prompt number 3 is a book series that you won't be completing. And the answer to that is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I truly did not enjoy this book. It was very info dumpy, and, well, okay, I didn't finish this book. That's why I won't be completing the series when the second book comes out and the third comes out, because it's supposed to be a trilogy. But yeah, like I said, very info dumpy, and also I didn't enjoy the main character's perspective. Yeah. Just not a fan of this book at all, from at least the 60 pages I read. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about it. So there you go, A Deadly Education. And this is also a Book of the Month copy, so it'll land in someone's hands who've been looking for this. Okay, a book that I DNF'd. The Fate of the Fallen. Yes, by The Fate of the Fallen by Kel Cade. This is basically a book that's basically... It says, for men to rise, heroes must fall. And in this book, it basically takes on the situation of, like, what if Frodo died and Sam became the hero? Or Sam became the new chosen one, or whatever have you. It kind of flips the chosen one on its head. And that's what happens here. And that's not a spoiler, it kind of gives it away in the synopsis, I believe. But anyway, yeah, and so our Sam-like character basically carries on the torch and has to do all these things in order to make it, like, finish his quest or whatever have you type thing. I got 80 pages into this book. This was the Shelf Space Book Club Book of the Month. The Shelf Space Book Club pick several months ago, and pretty much collectively we all didn't enjoy this. Most of people I remember didn't even finish this book, so getting rid of it. This is also another Book of the Month copy. By the way, you guys, just because I'm getting rid of some of my Book of the Month copies does not mean Book of the Month is horrible. It's just mean there's some books that didn't click with me. Still purchase books from Book of the Month. They are a great service. A book that you have multiple copies of. Beautiful Creatures. One of my favorite series in YA fantasy that I've ever read. This is about a group of witches. They call themselves casters. And when they come of age, which is 16, they are either claimed for the light or the dark. And our main character is actually human, and his love interest is the witch, which I love that, making the human the main character, and the witch, or basically magical person, the other main character, but the secondary main character. And yeah, I love this series, but like I said, I have multiple copies. I have the original cover in paperback, as well as the rest of the series in paperback. And I just bought this for when the movie came out. So, no need to keep this because the movie... Well, there were no more movies after the first one. So, yeah. This can go to someone else who will love it. Okay. Unhaul a book you will never actually get to. Okay. Tiger's Curse by Colleen Huck. This has an interesting premise. Our main character, Kelsey, has to break a long, a 300-year-old curse. And it's based off of, like, the curse is based off of some, I think the curse is based around this tiger, and it's a very, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I don't really know much about it, but I picked this up at a Goodwill, and I planned on reading it and then possibly getting the second and the third book if I enjoyed the first one, but I have not had any desire to pick it up. Who knows, maybe down the road I'll pick it up again for cheap. But yeah, I'm just not interested right now. A book you bought because of the hype that you planned on reading. Okay, now this is the second book in this series, but I could only find the second book. I was having trouble finding the first book. And that is the Lab Ship Trader series, but this one is book number 2 called Mad Ship by Robin Hobb. I picked this up because I decided after a while that I was going to read Robin Hobb, and I was going to start with the Lab Ship Traders trilogy. But it's been kind of difficult to find the first book, and honestly, after I've thought about it a lot, I just don't see myself reading Robin Hobb. Not to say that she's a horrible writer, because she clearly isn't. I just don't see myself reading these. And like I said, I bought this book because of the hype surrounding the author and this series in particular. A book you bought because of the cover. This one here, This Close to Okay. It's about a girl named Tally who is a therapist, and she comes across a boy named Emmett who is about to kill himself. He's about to jump off a bridge and and kill himself. This book is very focused on mental health, which is great and all, but there are some things about this book that just drive me crazy. Mainly the characters and their decisions that they make throughout the book. And one thing, our main character, Tally, does not tell our other main character that she's a therapist when he comes and stays with her. So she kind of lies about it. And she goes snooping through his stuff, which he sees. And then he in turn secretly goes behind her back and snoops through her private life and stuff. And it just gets really bad. And I gave this book a 3 stars rating because the story does get better with the last 100 or so pages of the book. But I will never read this book again. So it's going to go to a better home. And this is another Book of the Month copy. So someone else will enjoy it. Okay. A book you don't know anything about. Okay, I wouldn't say I don't know anything about this book. All I know is it's a memoir about the author's life. And I just know I'm not going to read it. But yeah, I don't know anything about the author, if that counts. But yeah, I'm just not gonna read it. I bought this a few years ago because it became a movie, and sometimes my family likes to read. Actually, a lot of times my mom and my sister like to read books when they're becoming movies, and they choose to read the. Obviously, they read the book first, and sometimes I join along with them, and I never ended up actually reading this book. So, yeah. It's called The Glass Castle, by the way. Lastly, a book you didn't buy. Okay, this one might be a little controversial because it's a beloved book. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I think is how you say his name. Or is it Coelho? Anyway, this book was originally was in French, and then they translated it into English. And I believe it's a bunch of short stories about a lot of life lessons. I started reading it like sometime last year, but never finished it. But I got this actually, yeah, last year by accident because Barnes & Noble sent me this. They were supposed to send me Strange the Dreamer, but they sent me this, like I said, and so I was supposed to mail this back to Barnes & Noble, but I never did, and I just kept it. So this was basically a free book that they gave me. I did eventually get Strange the Dreamer, because they obviously gave me the right book a week later. But I just kept this one, and I definitely want to give it back. Or I definitely want to give it to someone who will read it, so I'm gonna probably donate it to Goodwill since I work at Goodwill. Anyway, you guys, those were all the questions or prompts have you for this tag. If you want to do this tag, go ahead and do it. But I encourage you that if there are books on your shelf that you know you're not going to read or get to, or that you know you didn't like, like books that you didn't like that you read, get rid of them. Because they're just taking up room for future books that you're gonna get. There's no shame in that. Let your books reflect who you are. I will catch you later in the next video. Bye.